If you're planning for your trip to Lisbon or you're there right now, make sure you save this video so that you don't miss this before you leave Lisbon. This is Uncharted, Unfiltered. Come with me as I travel the world. I'm not here to sell a fantasy, just the reality behind the postcard. The laughs, the cries, and everything in between. Where you go from here, that's up to you. I'll be talking about experiencing Fado in Lisbon. Stay tuned for my recommendation and also considerations for you when you are trying to look for the best Fado experience in Lisbon. Fado in Portuguese translates to fate in English. In Lisbon, the musicality of Fado is very mournful, sad, melancholic, haunting even. These are songs that originated from their working class. It's about lost love, romance, and anticipated reunions that feel so distant. But even more so, these mournful songs are about the everyday lives of the Lisbon life, its hardships, often reflecting the challenges of the marginalized communities and the working class in the early 19th century. Some people equate Fado to the blues, but if you're asking for my opinion, I think they sound extremely different, though maybe some of their inspirations might be similar. I mean, this is Fado.
Vai lá falar, aperta a mão quem passa, porque onde houver desgraça é preciso o nosso amor.
Se eu falo, dizei-me, Senhor, se este nosso amor será pecado.
Stay tuned for more videos in the coming weeks where I'll have a compilation of Fado shows that I went to, and that way you can judge for yourself what they sound like and how it's supposed to go. Okay. So why is it so important that you make sure you have at least gone to one Fado show before you leave Lisbon? In 2011, it was recognized as an intangible UNESCO heritage. So in other words, if you haven't seen a Fado show in Lisbon, did you really go? If you're now convinced as to why you might want to actually go to a Fado show now, let's talk about where you can actually attend one. So as I talked about earlier, Fado actually emerged from the working class. Two major areas, there's Alfama and there is Bairro Alto. The Fado shows in each of these areas are actually slightly different, so I'll talk about that, and then that way you can make a more informed choice. Alfama. If you're coming off of a cruise, Alfama is probably the closest to you. And so if you're only here for a couple hours or even the day, including the evening, just note, Fado shows are offered usually in the evening. I've never seen one so far in Lisbon where they offer it afternoon or the morning. So if you have seen one in the morning and afternoon, please drop in the comments below because I would love to hear about it. And I didn't end up actually choosing to watch a Fado show in the Alfama district simply because their posters and how they were advertising their Fado shows just looked really touristy and very performance-like. Sorry, by performance-like, I meant more of a staged show than sharing raw emotions through music, which is a personal preference, is not how I envision Fado, nor did it sound like how Fado shows were originally executed. The opinion for this is varied across the board. This is just my own opinion, nothing against people who like very performance-like Fado shows, like on stage and in a very formal setting that doesn't look like a restaurant or a pub at all. Cool if you like that, but for me, a good Fado experience is experiencing it like a local, like you would way back when, or as close as you can get to that. I have a great appreciation for unassuming nooks of the city, and Fado shows fits right into that because that's where they used to be performed. And actually, they still are. Cue Bairro Alto. Bairro Alto is an area that's next to Chiado, which is next to Baixa, so like their downtown. Chiado is very brightly lit, it's really pretty at night, so I definitely encourage going there maybe after going to Bairro Alto or vice versa. In Bairro Alto, it's a very historic area. Today, it's quite well known for its bars and its party scene. I didn't go there for the bar or the party experience, I just went for the Fado experience. A lot of the places in Bairro Alto that offer fado shows are right next to very flashy bars, but you don't really notice the less assuming nooks and restaurants that are offering the fado shows. They just look like, normal bars, normal restaurants. It's quite hidden, like hidden gems, which again, I love. If you like that kind of stuff and you're that kind of tourist or visitor, click subscribe. If you like bars and parties and you want to experience the fado show, well, head over to Bairro Alto. It'll have all of that for you. I will also cover Bairro Alto later on in future videos, more in depth, but today we're just talking about fado shows. I went to 2 places for fado shows in Bairro Alto on 2 different nights. Each of these places, I would say they offer a different vibe. So depending on what fits you, you can choose, or maybe you can go to both of them. Go to a different fado show every night. The first place I went to was with some friends that I had made on the trip to Lisbon. We already had dinner at that point, so we were really just looking for fado shows, and we didn't really know how it was actually offered. Anyway, we stumbled into this place called Tasco de Manel. When we went, it was already, I think, like 8-ish p.m. They asked us if we wanted dinner and we said no, but is there like an entrance fee? They said no, but usually you would buy, I guess, a drink or you can have some dessert. So we opted for like a dessert to watch the fado shows. It was really interesting because I think we were expecting there to be dedicated performers just to perform fado shows. And to our lovely surprise, the performers for the fado shows were the waiters and waitresses at Tasco de Manel. I think was like a bonus. It was just really cool to see how hands-on everybody was. And they were amazing singers. I would recommend Tasco de Manel for someone who is maybe going on a first date because it's just so cozy and romantic. Like their tables are very tiny, and it's just nice to like be in that proximity, and you're also very close to actually other people who are in the restaurant because the restaurant itself is quite small, but it has French doors and it's right off the street, so it's just a really lovely European feel. And it's also great for hanging out with friends. That's what I did. We kind of cozied up into like a really small table and we listened. The second place I went to is called Trovas Antigas. This place is actually 30 seconds from the first place I just talked about, Tasco de Manel. I went to Trovas Antigas on my last night of Lisbon because I had such a good experience with the fado show in Tasco de Manel. I wanted to explore more places before I left that offered fado shows because I love live music. Trovas Antigas is great because here they also offer a dinner and a show, but I would say it's not even a show, it's just shows. So as long as you buy dinner with them, you can stay there as long as you want. Make sure that you reserve ahead of time. At Trovas Antigas, basically, I had a 3-course meal that I composed myself. Costed around, I think, 40 euros. And I got unlimited shows for as long as I had my dinner there and just sat there to watch. So if you're actually planning ahead for a fado show in Lisbon, you'll see online that you can book ahead of time and buy like fado show packages for as much as like $77 to I think over $100. And I would say that's not super necessary. Do it if you have the budget to, but if you're hoping to spend your travel budget on something else, but you still want a good fado experience, you actually don't need to book ahead of time by pre-buying tickets. It's usually you book the restaurant maybe the day of or the night before, and you just call in to book it, and then you have it. You don't need to go through online, which oftentimes I think you need to pay a booking fee as well. I also don't love these packages because you don't really get to customize the menu of what you're eating, whereas I liked how at Trovas Antigas I could eat as much as I want, or if I don't feel like eating as much and I, let's say, just want a small meal, I could do that and still get a show. Of course, if you're hoping to also get a tour with the Fado show and the dinner, then maybe going online and booking is your best bet because you'll need to book the tour guide. For me, I like to explore at my own pace, so a tour guide doesn't really help in this scenario where I want to wander the streets and then go to a Fado show when I'm finally hungry. But I'm interested, for those who are tuning in, which kind of tourist are you? Do you like to have everything planned to the minute of your trip? Or are you someone who's kind of like me? You like to wander around, look around the area, experience it like a local, have some flexibility in your time that you're spending in a city with certain goals of what you want to do that day or that week. Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please help by liking this video and subscribing. If you're a solo traveler or you're looking for tips for Lisbon and beyond, like other places, stay tuned.